Namaste, welcome to Sutra Network India. The news for today is as follows. US considers White House advisor for the IMF leadership. The United States is eyeing a prominent role at the International Monetary Fund, considering a White House economic advisor for the IMF's second highest post. A decision could influence global economic policy making and, by extension, the strategies related to development financing in India. India pushes back against the US criticism. In the aftermath of the SCO summit, US advisor Peter sharply criticized PM Modi's rapprochement with China and Russia, accusing him of getting in bed with what he called authoritarian dictators. The remarks underscore intensifying geopolitical friction amid India's strategic recalibrations. China proposes new power structures to counter the West. At the same SCO summit, President Xi laid out a grand vision for the SCO, offering $1.4 billion in credit, advocating the creation of a development bank, and proposing a joint AI research center. Xi's initiative illustrates China's ambition to construct alternative institutions and strengthen cooperation among the Global South nations. Beyond symbolism, the geopolitical significance of the SCO diplomacy. This weekend's ties between Modi, Xi and Putin go deeper than optics. Analysts suggest the meeting may represent one of the most consequential shifts in the modern strategy, a recalibration of a global governance as India navigates a complex web of trade tensions, multipolar ambitions, and rising authoritarian narratives. Death toll rises in devastating Afghanistan earthquake. A powerful earthquake in Afghanistan has left over 800 people dead and 2,800 injured. Amid the global aid slowdown, India has already dispatched critical relief supplies, including more than 1,000 tons and 15 tons of food, underscoring its key humanitarian role in the region. Putin, Xi and Kim meet in Beijing amidst the Ukraine crisis. In an unexpected diplomatic convergence, Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping and North Korea's Kim Jong-un met in Beijing, signaling a powerful East Asian bloc even as tensions over Ukraine continue to escalate. India watches such alliances closely amid a dynamic geopolitical landscape. WHO sounds the alarm for global mental health crisis. A new report by the World Health Organization reveals that more than 1 billion people globally suffer from anxiety and depression, highlighting a widespread mental health emergency that may shape global health strategies, including in India. SBI raises $500 million through the dollar bonds. State Bank of India has raised $500 million via a 5-year dollar-denominated bond issuance, coming shortly after India's sovereign credit rating was upgraded by S&P Global for the first time in 18 years. The move reflects both investor confidence and a strategic push to diversify funding. India diversifies pharma exports amid the US tariff risks. Facing uncertainty from the looming US tariffs, even though the sector is currently exempt, India's pharmaceutical exporters are seeking growth in markets like Russia, Brazil, and the Netherlands. The US still accounts for over 1/3 of India's pharma exports, but the strategy is to reduce reliance on one dominant partner. Plans to tackle regulatory barriers will be a key focus at the upcoming International Pharmaceutical Exhibition in New Delhi. GST exemption on health and life insurance premiums proposed. The government's group of ministers has suggested removing the 18% GST on health and life insurance premiums. Although insurers might respond by increasing base premiums, overall post-tax costs for customers are expected to decrease, potentially improving the affordability and broadening coverage. The final call rests with the GST Council. Supreme Court mulls revisiting RTE exemption for minority schools. The Supreme Court of India is reconsidering its 2014's decision that granted minority educational institutions, both aided and unaided, an exemption from adhering to the RTE Act. Justices expressed concern that this exemption may compromise the principle of universal elementary education. The bench indicated that the RTE Act ought to apply to all minority institutions to uphold equitable access to quality education. Clean energy surges while fossil fuel output slips. India has reached a clean energy milestone in the first half of 2025. Renewables, that is solar, wind, hydro, nuclear, generated a record 236 terawatt per hour, a 20% year-on-year increase. This enabled a 4% cut in the fossil fuel power output, pushing clean energy's share to 25% and a record in 31% in June. This trend underscores India's growing energy self-reliance amid global fossil fuel scrutiny. Chile's pudu deer near extinction. The pudu, the world's smallest deer, no taller than a house cat, is edging closer to extinction. These Chilean natives face heightened threats from habitat loss and environmental changes, pressing conservationists to mount immediate action to safeguard the species. The Indian cricket team seeks new sponsor after the gaming ban. Following the government's ban on real money online gaming and fantasy sports enacted under the Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Bill 2025, the Indian cricket team must forego its current sponsor Dream 11, despite their contract running through 2026. The BCCI is inviting new sponsorship bids by September 16 as the Asia Cup approaches. The board aims to fetch Rs 35 million per bilateral match and 15 million per international or continental tournament, a 20% hike versus the previous deal.